All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another, or actually our first episode. I was so used to my other podcast. Our first episode of Game Pass Gumbo, the brainchild here of Gold Shell, one of our hosts here. We also have Q here as also part of another podcast. You said, right?
Yep.
What's the name of the podcast?
Xbox Mojo with my co-host Thomas.
Awesome. And Q, this is your first podcast, correct? I mean, Gold, this is your first podcast, right? Nice.
Well, I did one back in the day when Sea of Thieves was coming along. We called it Pirate Port Radio. Guy named Paladin Topaz and Abstracticus, and we were considered the first Sea of Thieves podcast back in the day. I had to leave for family issues. My second daughter was being born, and I just couldn't really deal with it. A couple years later, I found out that Rare actually flew them out to England to play Sea of Thieves and showcase them and their faces on the E3 presentation. So I sent them a congrats, and they're actually Easter egg in the game. Before the game changed and got updated, there was a little part that said Pirate Port Pals as an achievement, and I had their names on it. And because I wasn't able to make it, they actually pulled some strings with Rare and got me an alpha set. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Anyway.
Awesome. Well, no, that's cool. Yeah. So, and my name is Corkenstein. I do the Xbox Talks podcast, so nothing new here for me. But yeah, this is gonna be an interesting concept. Did you want to talk a little bit real quick about how you came up with it, Gold?
Well, all of us here met through the Windows Central Discord. We've been playing a lot together. What was it, going on almost 2 years now?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
actually 3, because what was it, 2021 was when the Discord started.
Yeah, 3. So it'll be 3 years, and we just like talking food and games, and we figured, why not mix the two? So here we are.
Very nice, very nice. Well, then yeah, hey, let's actually dive in. I got the gameplay footage down below, some wonderfully wow footage provided by Gold here. Yeah, did you want to start off the topics then, Gold?
Today we're going to discuss, Blizzard under Microsoft. I'm a huge Blizzard fan. I'm wearing my Blizzard hoodie. I've been playing their games since Warcraft 1 and Diablo, original Diablo, and been following them for a while. And then we just kind of want to see where they could go under Microsoft. And then, because it's Blizzard and cold, we went with the topic of what's your favorite ice cream?
Nah, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. So what would you then, so since you see over here on our left hand side, I gotta see because it's flipped for me, today's menu is Blizzard under Microsoft, and that's what you wanted to talk about. What were some of the things that you guys want to see under Microsoft with Blizzard going forward? I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming up. We did get some news about no BlizzCon, which I think they came out and had to retract and be like, this isn't a Microsoft thing, it's a Blizzard thing. But yeah, I mean, those are some of the things. What would you guys like to see under Blizzard, under Microsoft?
I'll start. So, unlike Gold Shell, I'm not the biggest Blizzard fan. In terms of games that I've got from them, I bought Overwatch when it first came out in 2016 because everybody talked about how great Blizzard's games were, and how everybody loves WoW and Warcraft and StarCraft and Diablo and probably another craft in there somewhere. And funny thing is like I got it and then barely played it. I put maybe about 20 hours into Overwatch 1. I have since Overwatch 2 came out, because the people that are playing with and they're big Blizzard fans, put probably like 120 something hours into Overwatch instead of 20. Outside of that, I've played Diablo 4, which was also fantastic. About that? I really enjoy it. I'm not a looter type person, so like all the extra little, like, every time I pick up something and I'm looking through the list of like all the stats and be like, is this better than the thing that I had before? I know some people love that kind of like micromanaging and kitting of your characters. I don't know if I'm going to like. I don't know if that's what's going to keep me playing it for 300-400 hours plus. But I finished the campaign. Campaign was excellent. I'm working on some of the in-game content stuff now. I think I got to finish some more seasonal stuff before the next season starts. Actually, to be honest, but I'm really enjoying it. I like their worlds. That's what I'll say about Blizzard is that all their worlds are interesting, and that's what I that's what brings me to them. And honestly, what I want to see from them is just I want to see them make the kind of games that I play, which I play multiplayer games, but for the most part, I play more single player games than anything else. And I'll tell you one thing: before buying Overwatch, the one game that got me excited about playing a Blizzard game, and it never came out, and if they was like, "Yo, we're doing this," then I would immediately be on board. Is StarCraft Ghosts?
Yep,
Because
I know you're going with that.
I remember watching that trailer and being like, "Yo, this looks like it's going to rock," and then I remember like going into like Oblivion.
Yeah, it ended up
give me Starfield Ghosts.
getting swept.
StarCraft Ghosts.
I mean, it could be both now. I mean, now that they got both IPs, let's start some merging. You know, getting some IPs in different games.
Put StarCraft characters in Starfield. Put Sarah, just Sarah, no one else. Put Sarah in StarCraft.
Oh yeah.
See, like that's kind of the cool thing, though, is like it was a slip, but I mean, those are the kind of things that Microsoft can bring to Blizzard. For a quick second. So yeah, like you could start doing these mashups, these crazy, if they ever do like, there's always been this rumored fighting game that came up, of bringing Master Chief, and then you could have, what's his name? I'm blanking on it right now. Raynor, I think it is, from StarCraft.
Yep.
You could have an orc, from Warcraft. You could do so many different things, and it's so fluid with it. Like that is a possibility.
You can do it now with Killer Instinct.
Too. That's what I was about to say. What you're explaining is Killer Instinct 2.
Yeah.
Zeratul, Kerrigan.
Yeah. Kerrigan.
Diablo,
that's
Tyrael. All 5 of those characters would fit perfectly in Killer Instinct.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing you could do.
Diablo 4, I want to play as Inarius.
Inarius, yeah.
His asshole ass.
Yeah, you could bring Lilith in. That's the kind of things that can come to Blizzard under Microsoft now. They have such a wide IP range now of 40 plus studios. You could do some really cool stuff. Gold, what about you? What under Blizzard or under Microsoft? What would you like for Blizzard? I know I see you got your list.
Let me pull up my notes here. So, first thing, I mean, Age of Empires right now, they just announced that they're hitting 40 million players.
Yeah.
World's Edge has 50 million players. So you got 4 support studios that they use. It's Forgotten Empire, Tantalus, Relic. Now Relic's independent, not part of Sega anymore. So you got all these great organizations that could bring Warcraft 3 to console. They could bring, StarCraft 1 was already on console in the 64 era. I mean, I played it. It was janky, but what they did with Age of Empires on the console was incredible, and they could easily do Warcraft and StarCraft. Bring World of Warcraft to console. I play it on controller. I've even got my brother to start playing it on controller a little bit with console port. It can be done. You'll just have to use AI or something for the healers, but it can be done. Add the WoW subscription to Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. I'd like to see StarCraft come back, especially StarCraft Ghosts. I know there's a lot of controversy around Stellar Blade right now, but one of the uniforms she wore looked straight up Nova from StarCraft. And it just watching Stellar Blade makes me just want a StarCraft game. Biggest thing, luckily Sarah Bond did bring up that StarCraft was one of the most requested IP during one of those shows. So Microsoft is well aware of this IP. And another thing is, lastly, I mean, I'd like the physical version of Hearthstone, like card game, a Murloc mascot platformer. So you know the little Murlocs that go.
Oh yeah.
Just have them like a mascot platformer game. Just have Toys for Bob do it or something like that. And then my last two things is make sure get an Overwatch TV show. I've been watching X-Men '97. It's incredible, and all I could think is Overwatch could have a show like this. The comics are free on Blizzard's website. I've been actually reading through them and stuff. It's hard to find them physical, but I've been reading them for free on Blizzard, and all I can just think is, where's my show? You got 100 million players playing Overwatch right now. It's you're looking at ARC numbers, and even ARC got a show, which was pretty good. I mean, I've only gotten into 3 episodes.
The ARC animated series actually was pretty nice. It wasn't super standout. I wasn't amazed, but I was like, this is decent. I rock with it. I was surprised that it was as good as it was.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's my list. I know it's pretty lengthy, and of course, lastly, I just want to make sure that the employees are taken care of.
Oh
just give them higher pay, and then treat them with human dignity. And that's, I mean, we already know that all the games are going to come to Game Pass anyways because they're under Microsoft. So that's a given. But yeah, that's my criteria.
Yeah. Just got to see how much of those are going to come to cloud thanks to Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that.
For my list, I mean, I share a lot of the sentiments you do, Gold, with this. You know, I definitely want to see a WoW to console. I think Final Fantasy and how well it did on there, I think that's something that is definitely going to get those gears moving in a little faster way.
Exactly.
For me, I think going forward, I want them to evolve some of these worlds. I want them to start taking, you know, I mean, it's Blizzard. You don't have to reinvent the wheel with them. They have solid stuff. They're great already. I don't know how well it would work, so I'm kind of iffy on it, but still, I want them to evolve these games, like something like StarCraft Ghosts, something completely out of the wheelhouse. The survival horror game that they were going to do. I was really excited about that. Now canceled supposedly. So, I really want them to take the reins and kind of take Blizzard into that next level, that next gen.
Was Odyssey a horror?
What's that?
Was Odyssey a horror?
I think it was supposed to be like survival horror, was it?
It was supposed to be like a fantasy survival game.
Oh, I thought it was a horror game.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be more like well, I don't know because they didn't really show us much. But when I read about it,
a couple of concept art. Yeah,
it's supposed to be their take on the survival game. So whatever Blizzard thought would be the best bet for how to evolve those type of games, which apparently I'm into survival games because State of Decay 2 counts as a survival game. I love that game, but I don't really I don't play any of the other ones.
No, definitely. I'd say yeah. It definitely is a survival game in a sense. It's not in that traditional sense of what a survivor game is, you know, like possibly let me see what's a good one that's sticking, like Valheim, even like Lego Fortnite technically is like a survival game because you have the whole hunger mechanics and health and stamina and all that. But yeah, like that kind of game. But I mean, those state game, I would say it's a survival game. But yeah, I want them to start taking those reins and start bringing Blizzard into uncharted territories. They have so many studios now that they actually can. They can start pushing the envelope, and if they struggle, hey, bring in another studio that actually has this experience. Like now it is confirmed, the Coalition. They rumored for a long time to have this team that would go around to all the studios using Unreal 5, and they would help them get to that level. And now that's actually something that's happening. But same concept, you know. I mean, they're no longer with Microsoft, but if you were going to do like a platformer kids game, you know, toys for like the platformer Murloc game, Toys for Bob, bring them in. Rare, bring them in. You know, start getting these people. Huh?
Speaking of Activision, I'll let you finish.
Oh yeah. Start having them come in and start helping make these games and get developers to start opening their minds and creating something new. I always hate when reviewers and outlets, like Suicide Squad, it's a fun game. It's insanely fun. It's really great, but it got blasted because it wasn't a single player Arkhamverse game.
It wasn't with the people that played and I'll be the first one to say, when I saw Suicide Squad and they explained what it was, I was like, I don't wanted another Arkham game. Like, why would you give me all these great Arkham games and then be like 7 years later be like, nah, that's not what you get this time around. But I played the beta for it, and that changed my mind. I was like, oh, this is actually really fun. It wasn't the game that I wanted from Rocksteady, but it was a good game at what it was doing. And a lot of the hate that it got, especially at the beginning when it first came out, was because people didn't want it to be a looter shooter. And you could see that in the reviews. I'm reading reviews where people are basically like, yeah, everything about the game works well. The shooting is fun. The combat is fun. The thing is fun. But I wanted Arkham.
Yeah,
so it gets a 7.
I wanted a single player game. And it's like, well, I don't shoehorn developers into one platform, one genre. Yeah, they could do that well, but the whole point of gaming is an art form. It's supposed to be something that people can express and take in new directions. And honestly, there's still so much in the gaming world that we can still do on new genres, how to reinvent certain genres, things like that. Why just stranglehold that? And that's my biggest thing. So yeah, to go back to it, I want them to take developers to the next level and really utilize their full potential. Oh, you were going to say something about Activision Gold?
Oh, two things. One, this on a bid. Let me get it in the frame here. There you go.
That's better.
Wakeboarding Unleashed. It's an Activision O2 game. Won it on an eBay bid for $5. It was unsealed. I unsealed it because I'm an idiot. But unsealed, no scratches. I'm really hoping that this backwards compatibility thing can get one of my favorite non-Blizzard Activision games ever made to play on my Series X. So, and then Blizzard's been really good about the gameplay loop. Just that's what it is. So to further your point about Suicide Squad, the gameplay loop's what's important. Is it fun?
And I would say from Blizzard, what I would like to see in the future, as we're talking, just in general, make those leaps to other genres. They don't even they can. I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but they don't even need to come out with more IP. They literally have.
Yeah.
I don't play Warcraft, but I've watched the movie, I've read some wiki pages, I've watched some YouTube videos, and there's enough lore and enough story and enough going on just in Warcraft alone for them to create several games that have nothing to do with being a RTS or a MMO. From my recent endeavors,
like the Murloc platformer. There you go.
Yeah. So my recent endeavors into Diablo, I went down after to prep for playing 4, I went down a wiki rabbit hole of what happened in the first 3 games and what's else. There's extensive lore for that world that they can put into. As you were saying, you weren't talking about the right game, but a survival horror game set in Diablo, where you're not one of the people that you're playing as the heroes, as you would say, but a regular villager, a villager in Sanctuary trying to survive the demon horde coming through.
Yeah,
that'd be a great survival horror game.
Yeah,
or you could do anything with Overwatch. The Overwatch 2, one of the reasons why I got on board with it was because they were supposed to be doing single player campaign stuff with the hero missions and everything, and now but
in my other podcast we actually talked about that, for a Halo game of having a grunt versus 5 Spartans, an ace, or 5 grunts or whatever versus 1 Spartan, an asymmetrical horror game where you're a bunch of grunts just trying to survive and get onto the Covenant ship, or whatever, away from the Spartan that's just destroying everyone, things like that. But yeah, go back. Sorry, I was just saying the same exact thing.
No, I mean that's basically what it is. Like, and it's not just we're talking about Blizzard now, but that's in general what I think a lot of what Microsoft should look at, and obviously I like that, and we'll go by that. I'll say that they're saying this because who knows what's going on in the background, but I like what they're saying when they say we want to let the creators make the games that they want to make, whatever they're passionate about making, because that's how you're going to get the best games. You get the best games from people that enjoy making the games, and not something that some corporate person in the suit is telling them this is what you should make. But at the same time, I feel like if you have IPs and you have people that work on these IPs, why wouldn't you be using the ones that you already got? Because we want new games and we want new experiences, but like we also at the same time, people get very accustomed to the worlds and the lore and the universe that they already have a connection with. And it's like, I want to see a little bit of both. Like,
Yeah.
okay, have a new IP, but also give me something in Diablo that's not a ARPG, a top-down ARPG. Give me something in Warcraft that's not a RTS or a MMO. Give me something in Overwatch that's not a multiplayer-only first-person shooter. Like, and they say that about the other studios too. When it comes to Halo, when it comes to Activision doing anything other than Call of Duty in the future. And we can get to that. Well, we're talking about Blizzard, but if we want to talk about Activision real quick about what we want from them, give us something other than Call of Duty.
Yeah.
We got like 11 studios working on one IP, and we get it every year. We don't need 11 studios working on 3 different games in the same IP that we're going to get year after year after year after year. For the most part, not completely, be basically the same. Like I haven't played a Call of Duty multiplayer match and been like, oh, well, it's so much different than the last time I played a Call of Duty multiplayer match. Go back to making give Hexen another go. Give Singularity another go. Go back to some of the IPs that you kind of just slip by. Take Prototype. Give me another Prototype game.
Yeah.
Please. Like,
I want to go to Hexen, because Hexen's perfect. You could slide Hexen in all the Call of Duty slots annually, and you say from the creators of Call of Duty comes Hexen, and then because you know how zombies modes and stuff like that are always real popular, and you could basically cater to that crowd. You're just sitting there. This is Call of Duty with magic and an axe. And then you could have all those modes. You could slide those in because there is a fan base for some of that horror, grotesque modes in Call of Duty, and I think Hexen would fit right into that. But yeah,
it's like
go ahead.
Real talk, and I know people would get upset about this, but people getting upset about it doesn't necessarily mean that the numbers won't match what they wanted to match. Real talk, let's be completely honest, and it sounds weird saying this, and I want them to do more than just this, but I'm simplifying what I'm saying. Y'all can just reskin some of these games, because the first thing that's going to come up is like, oh, it's so expensive to make a game, it won't be out for 5 years. Just like in the 360 era, and so some in the Xbox One era, but they're doing less of it now than they did before, where like literally the game is just, they changed some stuff about the previous game and fixed some stuff and then like added a new story and new cutscenes, and now that's why they were able to come out with games 2-3 years after the game that previously came out, because either they started it before that game came out, or they were like, here's the assets, we already have everything set up, now let's just take some of that away, put some more stuff in, change this thing, let's tweak this here. If Hexen is a magical reskin, like a magic based reskin of a zombies mode.
Oh yeah.
From Call of Duty, and like, bring maybe it into like tweak the gunplay or whatever, like that's fine. Somebody's going to complain, it's like, oh, it's just a reskin of Call of Duty Zombies. But more people are going to be like, oh, Hexen is a new game with the gameplay that I like from Call of Duty Zombies, but a new story. It's magic instead of guns or whatever. And that's enough, because honestly, how how much
And you
of a
could do
difference
Call
is
of
there
Duty
between one and two?
cinematics. You could do
Yeah,
Call of Duty cinematics. I
and
mean, they did it
you
in
already
Doom.
have the engine. You already have the engine. You
Hmm.
already have like the people work. It's not like it's different people working on games. Same people working on the games that you like now would be working on this game. Keep that same level of quality, that bar of quality there, but just kind of like do more than reskin it, but kind of reskin it.
Well, I mean, to be fair
It's
too,
it's pew pew instead of is magic instead of bullets. It's you put some like medieval, you put some medieval armor on the zombies. It's it's just, they're like undead now. Instead of being like regular zombies, they're like undead medieval like warriors, whatever. Put a sword in their hand, whatever. Like, and let's
It'd
get
basically
this
be
game.
Immortals of Avian made in the engine it should have been made in.
I mean, to be fair though,
That should have
Blizzard
been made in a tech.
Blizzard is one of the fortunate ones to have two major cash cows that they don't have to reskin. Game budgets aren't really a problem with for them. I mean, they have COD, which is $1 billion earner, yearly. And they have World of Warcraft, and also multi-million-dollar year earner for them.
Budgets was an issue for some reason because like you remember all the stuff that was coming up in the last couple of years about like what Activision, Activision's what's the word I want to use? What they're telling them to do.
Well, Bobby Kotick's out, so, or Kotick, whatever.
Yeah.
He wants to lower costs so he can sniff more cocaine. Let's be honest here. So that extra budget is going to go to his nose.
Oh,
So
okay.
sorry, Bobby Kotick's a dick. Everybody knows it. He's an asshole.
Okay.
Sorry. But yeah, I've never liked how he ran Activision. It was all about money. And yeah, they made a ton of it, but then now this is how you're getting COD every year with, little tiny changes here and there. There's no forward thinking.
Well, that's been people forget that like they complain about COD and how it's just like over and over again every year, but that's been Activision's MO almost since Bobby took over.
Yeah.
Because if you think back, if you look at that list of Activision IP, what IP wasn't ran into the ground because they were like, we're going to release one every year? The whole entire time they had the Spider-Man license. Spider-Man came out every year. Whether it was a movie tie-in, they had like the ones that were like their own kind of story arc. They kept coming out with the movie tie-ins. They kept putting Spider-Man in other games. There's like in the 7 years that they had the Spider-Man IP license, they put out like 12 games. Like they murdered Spider-Man into the ground. They murdered Guitar Hero into the ground by coming out with one every single year. They murdered Skylanders into the ground by coming out. Yeah. And then by the time they actually turned it into live service, people were upset because it wasn't the same. You turned it into live service after everybody was already like tired of buying your games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After buying 12 Guitar Heroes, like, no, now I gotta buy Guitar Hero again, plus pay for the same songs that you put in the previous games? Nah, get out of here with that.
See, I have an Oculus, and I don't know the numbers, but Beat Saber seems to be pumping out new songs all the time. Beat Saber's awesome. You could so easily do DJ and Guitar Hero in a live service fashion. Easily.
Yeah. And it's like it's nothing new that Activision has always been about pumping out as much as possible. And it never, and honestly, the cash cow is there, but it's funnily enough, somebody at Blizzard cared because it didn't become that for Blizzard, and I don't know if it's because they just couldn't. Because I can't think of anything that they would be able to put out yearly. You know what I mean? Like
Blizzard?
Yeah, like
other
Blizzard
than World of
wasn't
Warcraft
put on
expansions.
Yeah,
because that's what they're doing. They're doing War Within, Midnight.
They weren't put on that like that hamster wheel. That they weren't put on that hamster wheel that the rest of Activision was, where they're just pumping out whatever IP. Because, like I said, look at the list of the games that they came out with. Whatever internal IP that they put out, they put it into the ground. Oh, I forgot another one. Crash Bandicoot. When they first got it, remember they put out all those slightly less as good as the original trilogy Crash games and made it obscure because people were like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
That's all Activision, man. That's all Bobby Kotick's Activision.
And that's straight to my point. Now that he's not there, they may get some of the, because that's also going back to what we want to see. Microsoft, Blizzard under Microsoft, is Phil Spencer's has always been very, creator developer forward. They don't like to stifle creativity. Granted, they do watch their budget very well. That's, Amy Hood. She's done an amazing job on keeping Xbox profitable.
Regardless of what the articles say.
Yeah, I mean that could be a topic for a whole. I mean, trust me, I could do a whole TED talk on why majority of people on Twitter are idiots, have no idea how that actually works. But yeah, she's done a very great job with keeping them profitable, with bringing out great games, acquiring studios. I think they could do the same with Blizzard. Give them, kind of let them open up that think tank, start bringing in other developers to make, and that's why I said Blizzard has the money. They have the cash cow. They don't have to remake or reskin anything. They could sit on a game like Rockstar for 10, 12 years and release, and they're not taking a financial hit because they're just making so much with COD and World of Warcraft.
Yep. And then
and I know you talked about WoW, but also port all your stuff to console. Port all your stuff that's not on console to console. Because one game that we didn't mention, and I actually let me mention this real quick. I'm not big on this game genre, but I did after they mentioned, because I always do this when I'm an Xbox fan. I like Xbox, so whenever they say, "Oh, we're acquiring new studios," I'm like, "Oh, let me go look at the games that these studios have, and if I'm interested in any of them." And unfortunately, I didn't really play it until after they were kind of like, "Yeah, we're not supporting this anymore," but I hope they go back to it. I enjoyed my time that I played Heroes of the Storm. And it would be cool if they, I got a basic laptop that I'm on right now. I got the basicest of laptops, but it ran on my basic laptop really well, and I would play that game more if it was available on console. And honestly, I don't know what more they would do in terms of supporting it, but it'd be cool to see them go back and some of the decisions that were made pre-Microsoft Blizzard to go back and fix some of the things that fans have had an issue with over the years. I remember, I don't know where it is now, but I remember a lot of people were upset about the state of, was it Warcraft 3 Reforged when it first came out?
Yeah.
So I don't know if
it's better now.
Okay. Or did Diablo 2 Resurrected also have some issues when it first came out? People were upset about some stuff. If those issues haven't been fixed, or they were like, "Yo, we're just gonna move on to whatever's next," go back and fix those issues in the game. Go back and port Heroes of the Storm to console. Hearthstone, if it's not somewhere, put it wherever. All these games that you have that already have these big audiences. Yeah, PC and mobile are way bigger than console, but guess what? Console people spend more money. Go give us those games.
It's funny you bring up Reforged, because Reforged recently had a group called Lorecraft, and it's by some ex-Blizzard devs and some modders, and they recreated the Horde campaign in Warcraft 2 into Warcraft 3's engine. It's called Chronicles of the Second War, and it's actually on par with Blizzard quality. It was incredible. They said they're working on the human campaign, and then the human campaign for the expansion, and the Horde campaign for the expansion. It's fully voice acted, the whole 9 yards. It's incredible. So if you play Reforged, that's a good way to catch up on Warcraft 2 story without watching a movie. Oh, they need to put the Warcraft movie on Game Pass to get everyone familiar with it. That was my last thing.
A free movie plus. Actually,
I was gonna say,
I actually like that movie.
I did too.
They want people to come to the Warcraft IP, not run away from it, Gold.
Oh, it's great, man.
Movie. Yo,
I loved it, man.
No, it's a good movie. It just got bashed really bad by reviewers, but like most video game movies do. They don't understand.
I went in knowing nothing about Warcraft, other than that it was a game that people played. And then I watched the movie, and I felt like it set up like, oh, okay, this is why. All I knew was Alliance and Horde, and then I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense to why they don't rock with each other. The Horde just came over from a portal. It was like, nah, this ours now. And Alliance was like, hold up, what y'all doing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's
Actually,
oh, sorry, go ahead, Gold.
no, that's essentially it. It gets you set up, and I love the guy who played Lothar. Bat crazy, dude.
Now, I will say I was confused about some stuff. I was just like, I don't know what they're like. You know what we need in movies? And do you remember, like, I don't know if they still do this. You know, like, remember on like cable TV? I think TBS used to do this all the time, where they used to have like they would play the movies, but there would be like pop-ups with like explanations and definitions, or like little like commentary from whoever was doing the pop-up. That, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you saw that on MTV back in the day, right? Where you're watching a video and they'd give you fun facts about that certain music video, either VH1
not just
or
music
MTV.
videos, like TBS, the movie, the broadcast station, as TBS stands for, used to have like a specific time. They used to have like a specific time frame where they would show, like, say for instance, it would be The Fifth Element, right? They would show The Fifth Element on TV, and while The Fifth Element was playing, it would be like fun facts, or it would be like developer commentary. Or be like, it would basically be like you were sitting there watching the show with a host, and like in between with the commercials, they would talk for a second and then go back to the movie. But during the movie, it would be like these little pop-up things. I needed that for Warcraft, because I needed some definitions and I needed some explanations and I needed who are these people?
Like, who's Medivh? What's Karazhan? Why are these people with horns blue, and why are they being? Yeah, they didn't really. A lot of those were just Easter eggs for Warcraft fans. They didn't really explain much more than that. So
it was like having a conversation with somebody where like you're talking to them and they're saying people's names as if you know them, but like you've never met these people in your life or heard of them before. But like you're following the conversation, but it's like, I don't know who that person is, but I get what you're saying.
Then you got a Blizzard. Then you got a Warcraft guy that's been playing since 04. I've Molten Cord since 04. I'd like to get that on a T-shirt. Anyway, sitting there like the Leo DiCaprio meme, going, "Oh, that." So yeah, it was. It did the right things for the Warcraft fan base.
Yeah.
It only made money in China, though, I think. So there it is.
So to kind of wrap up, basically, what we want to see Blizzard, under Microsoft and Blizzard going forward is, I think, more diversity in their gaming catalog. Kind of go back, start bringing some of these classic IPs, that they've been sitting on for a bit, and get them going again. Like I said, with WoW, it'd be great to have another another Warcraft, RTS, StarCraft, things like that. But start bringing new blood to Blizzard, and then start investing in console more with their WoW MMO. That was another one. Anything else I'm missing from that? I know we're a little bit on a time crunch.
TV show.
Overwatch TV show.
Overwatch TV show.
StarCraft Ghosts.
There we go. StarCraft Ghosts. Yeah, I think we covered a lot of that. I mean, I think it's good though that we see there's promise, there's future. Some people would be like, it'd be the worst thing ever to acquire Blizzard for Microsoft, but I think we can see the potential that's there for it. And
I saw it from the beginning without being a fan. Like I've never been a huge fan of either Activision, Blizzard, or King. Like I've played Activision games. I gave you the background for my games playing with Blizzard. But from the moment that they announced, first of all, when they first announced it, I was like, wait, that's not real. I thought it was a joke, but it was like randomly in the middle of January.
I bought Overwatch the day it was announced.
I immediately saw the potential of them having Activision Blizzard King. Not just for the IPs and the games that we can play, but for like Xbox as a brand in general, because like you were saying, Blizzard's games print money. And if Xbox has more money to put towards making better games, not just Blizzard games, but games overall. And obviously, we have to see them do it, because saying that, oh, them getting more companies means they can make better games, and then they don't make better games, like, we got to hold them responsible for that. Like, yo, like, y'all told us that y'all bought these companies to make better games, and we're not seeing the better games. But as we move forward, like, I can see the more money that they get from these money companies, hopefully we see a lifting of IP and quality and performance throughout all these games, not just the ABK games, but also the Xbox Game Studios games, the Bethesda games. Like, and people are like, well, but they haven't done that yet. It's going to take time, and it sucks it's going to take time, because, like, we all want it now, but it's going to take time, and time isn't a year or two. Time is 5 years. Like, other than the games that come out, it'll be 5, 6, 7 years before we actually see how much the acquisition has changed Blizzard, has changed Xbox, has changed Bethesda, etc., and so forth. It's not a 2 or 3 year thing. You're not even getting games out in 2 or 3 years. Like, think about what Bethesda. There hasn't been a single game that Bethesda has released that wasn't already worked on before their acquisition from Microsoft 3 years ago. Not one. And, you know, we're judging, hey, these are the games coming out, and we'll see the same thing with Blizzard and Activision. The first game that we see out from them after that, like, since they've been acquired, probably won't be until the 30s. 2030. So it just takes time.
No, definitely. No, I agree with all of that. With that, speaking of diversity and, you know, new things coming, how about we hit that last topic of ours, favorite ice cream?
Okay, so I sent you guys a link in the Discord here with a link to Ben and Jerry flavors. Okay, so Ben and Jerry flavors. I think that's a good way to start and just kind of go through.
Oh, I already know. I don't even got to click that link.
Oh, you don't even got to click the link.
Cherry Garcia, baby, all day, every day. Cherry Garcia.
Cherry Garcia. Okay. I'm more of a toffee. I saw one on there. It was toffee flavored ice creams, pistachio flavored ice creams, and peanut butter is kind of where I sit at. Not really into the fruity flavors. Banana. Banana's a really good flavor in anything.
Yeah.
As far as ice cream goes, so I think that's the only time I'll delve into the fruit side. But I'm more of the coffee bean, dark chocolate. I don't know. I've lost a lot of weight in the past 4 months because I've cut out sugar, and I've been trying to forcibly gravitate myself to more flavors, sparsely of course, but more flavors, and that's more savory. Oh, another one, salted caramel almond. Caramel. Ooh, boy, that flavor, especially since I've cut down on my sugar intake, that flavor has been. I know there's sugar in it because caramel is basically caramelized sugar. Yeah, it's literally sugar, but that savory there with the salt, that's where I'm at. Q?
I am definitely I'm basic with my ice cream unless I want some variety. I'm very much like a vanilla bean, French vanilla guy. Like, my go-tos, but I'm big on cookies and cream. Anything with caramel in it. There's something I had. It had like pralines and like Oreo cookies and like marshmallows. It was diabetes in a container, but it was delicious. And I forget what flavor, or I honestly can't even remember the brand of. I just remember what was in it. It was Oreo cookie pieces. It was caramel. It was like pralines. It was vanilla ice cream, and it might have been like peanut butter or something that was in it. It was really good. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, pralines. That's interesting.
Yeah, they have another one called American Dream, which is, I think, based off of like the Colbert Show.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's fudge covered waffle cone with a caramel swirl. That one's pretty solid. They have a peanut butter and jelly, or a peanut butter one, like peanut butter and chocolate. There's just so many good ones. I'm actually very fortunate to live in like a city that's very homegrown, natural, local only. So we actually have two creameries here. One is called Naples and the other one is called Long Beach Creamery, and they make some pretty amazing stuff that's super fresh. You could just taste it because I mean it's literally made the day before. And then you go over there and pick up a pint or however you want it, and they top it with things if you'd like. But yeah, it's pretty solid. I mean, they do stuff better than Ben and Jerry's, honestly. But I like I said, not everywhere has a creamery or a big enough place to have one. But yeah, those are probably my two favorite ones, is from Long Beach Creamery and Naples ice cream.
Oh, nice. That's really fortunate.
Yeah. We have a cold stones. That's my area has a cold stones. That's about as far as we're going in terms of having creameries.
I mean, maybe y'all got a market there that you guys can invest in. Start your own ice cream shop up there, local ice cream shop. You can make it video game themed. Q.
Oh well, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. First thing I thought of, they just recently made it. So like, I live in Atlantic City, and they're doing some businesses are starting to open up like on the boardwalk and stuff that are for marijuana, so like edibles and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
In my head, the first thing I thought of was like, if I'm doing a creamery, I'm doing weed cream. We're doing cannabis infused ice cream for the masses.
I mean, they do everything else. I mean, ice cream would be interesting. Definitely be little bowls though. So for sure.
Problem with edibles,
depending on the milligram.
My only problem with edibles, especially when they do like edibles that are like whole meals. Have you heard of like they have like whole entire meals that are they're like weed infused meals where it's an experience you have where it's like a 5-course dinner like you would normally have like in a restaurant, like a fancier restaurant that does like course dinners. They do like a 5-course dinner and it's all like expertly like chefed food, but it's all edibles.
Oh yeah, so I wouldn't doubt it.
My one of my friends went to one once and it was like they had like some I didn't have enough of it to feel the effects, but they brought back home some infused chicken Alfredo and it was great. The chicken Alfredo it's by itself was A1, but then like there was enough in there, even though I didn't have that much. I felt it a little bit, but I was like, yeah, if I would have ate a whole plate of chicken Alfredo, I'd have been on my ass.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's cool and all, but I like eating after I get high. So then like, here we are, you're gonna get me fat. Edibles get you fat because you're going to eat the food, it's going to get you high, and then you're going to eat again like 2 hours later.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, I mean, eating a whole plate of chicken Alfredo myself, I'm probably going to be put on my ass just normally without any weed. It's like eating a whole Stouffer's lasagna, that's meant for like 5 people, and you just kill it in one go.
I've never done that. Thanks for putting yourself
recently out. Talking about weird flavors and stuff. I recently put what was it? It was a little bit of ice cream, and I put some maple syrup on top and added some red pepper flakes to the maple syrup.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that was
sweet and spicy.
Yeah, sweet and spicy, man. And that was apparently.
There's like
honey and red pepper are great together.
What's that? What's the stuff that they put on like fruit and stuff in Mexico?
Chamoy.
That's like the is that what it's called?
Yeah, chamoy or tajin.
Yeah, like Mexican cuisine loves their like sweet and spicy flavors put together.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I'm actually talking about ice cream. I'm doing this later today. I'm making an ice cream float for myself because we have
treat
Dr.
yourself.
Pepper strawberry and cream soda, which is delicious. So I'm gonna do a Dr. Pepper strawberry and cream ice cream float later,
There you go.
and it's gonna be delicious. I can already taste it.
After I
Nice.
close the podcast here, my wife and I are going to a dinner date, and then because I finally got some babysitters for today, and I think I think we might go the sweet route now that we just got done with
It's been the
talking about ice
conversation.
cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, may try to find a place because I'm in the Kentuckiana area. This is one of the places I'm at is out near Evansville, Indiana. So kind of that
Wait,
Kentuckiana area.
You
So
said it twice.
becoming
Kentucky.
food thing. Kentuckiana. It's not quite Kentucky and it's not quite Indiana because as soon as you go from southern Indiana up to Indianapolis, the accent changes completely because it gets more Midwest as farther you get. Once you get it past Jasper, the accent starts turning to more your Hoosier. Sometimes
I was about to say you start hearing
like
"Don't you know?"
Wisconsin.
20
Yeah.
minutes away, and you start hearing "Don't you know?"
Yeah, at least this part of where I'm at is still you still got bourbon distilleries nearby. You still have somewhat of a southern accent, a little bit, and then that's another thing. Surprised the bourbon distilleries haven't, done bourbon style ice creams because you get bourbon balls, which they have that bourbon aftertaste.
Mhm.
I would love to try some bourbon ice cream.
Oh yeah, I
Kind of like
think
rum
there's a
raisin,
place that
but
does have it, but I can't
it's
remember.
probably somewhere.
Yeah,
Probably.
I wouldn't doubt it. Well then, gentlemen, I think that was a solid first podcast. I would have to say,
I think so.
I think we kind of killed it there. That was pretty awesome.
It flowed real well too.
Yeah, I really dug this. Hopefully we can get another one going. We'll just have to get our syncs or our time schedule synced. Let's get Gold off to his dinner date. We'll get Q his ice cream sundae. And I need coffee. It's 9 a.m. my time, so I know it's already probably 12 for you guys or Eastern time.
Wait, coffee? Aren't you going to sleep? Didn't you just you got off from work and jumped on to do this, right?
No, so I didn't work last night. I took last night off so I could do this. So I gave away the shift. It's my last weekend doing night shifts. So now I'll have Saturday, Sundays off, and Monday I go in at 1:30 p.m. instead of 9 p.m.
Okay.
So yeah, I will I'll get this uploaded onto YouTube. So if you guys, we will have a YouTube channel. I will get that link. I'll hit the subscribe. I'll get a nice little pop-up or what they call call to action buttons down below that you'll be able to click, send you over to our YouTube to like and share and all that good stuff that we ask you to do. Before we head off, any final remarks? What you guys playing this weekend? Anything like that?
Sandland. Love that game. Sandland. I give it a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
It is basically what Q was talking about with it's basically Iron Brigade meets Dragon Ball. Some of the tank battles in the desert. Whoever did the tank battles definitely played Halo 3 on the Ark with the Scorpion tanks because the drums are the same, the deserts are the same. It felt like the whole game was made by a Halo 3 fan. And the story's good. Even music's incredible. We'll do another topic later about Japanese support on Xbox, but I highly recommend Sandland. Q.
I'm
gonna say, like I said, we don't heard things. You said that before, and I'm gonna say the same thing that I wrote to you in text. I didn't like the demo. You said don't go by the demo. I also said that between what I got in my backlog and what I'm playing on Game Pass, it'll be a while before I get there, but I do want to get there though, because rest in peace Akira Toriyama, and I'm probably gonna. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll do you this first. I'll watch the anime within like the next week or so, and then we can come back to this me buying it.
I watched the anime first. And then I bought the game. And they're actually the stories are delving off a little bit.
Okay.
So there's
Well,
going
that's
to be
because you don't want to watch the
I'm gonna be
anime and then play through the same story in the game.
Exactly. That's kind of how DBZ Kakarot was. It was basically just a retelling of Dragon Ball. You're sitting there going, I've done this before. So
3 times.
yeah,
A minimum of 3 times.
DBZ Kai Kakarot did this 3 times. I can watch a YouTube video if I need to.
And then playing through all the Budokai and Budokai Tenkaichi games, you play through all of that storyline, all those fights.
Yeah.
Me, I am playing Jedi Survivor.
Good one, just now on Game Pass.
It dropped on Game Pass. I've been waiting for it. Like, let's be real. I'm gonna be 100. I pay for Game Pass. The stuff that I know that's absolutely gonna make it on Game Pass, I'm not buying full price. I'm gonna wait for it to go on sale. And if it goes on sale, if I get to play it on Game Pass before it goes on sale, I already spent that money. I buy games after they go on sale because I have a humongous backlog and I need to get through I want to get through all those games, not just that I need to, I want to. And then like every month something on Game Pass comes out where I'm like, ooh. So it's like I'm not gonna be buying too many up and coming games, but if it's on Game Pass, we definitely gonna rock it. Anyway, I'm really enjoying Jedi Survivor. I think they took a lot of what they did well with Fallen Order and kind of like expanded upon it, like really expanded, because just the worlds alone, we still have those kind of narrow path like Metroidvania pathways, but they like Kobo, for instance, really has a much more open world feel to it versus being open stage, if that makes any sense. My one biggest issue though is 1 year later, it is riddled, and I mean riddled, with just immersion breaking bugs.
Yeah.
Black spots in random places, textures just completely disappearing off the face of the earth, enemies getting frozen in the air after like the little literally I'm doing the combo cutscenes and me and the enemy are like floating in the air in the middle of my combo cutscene, and then I drop to the floor and the enemy's just still floating in the air. So it's been like, it's a lot of quality of life stuff that just didn't get worked on, and I'm confused as to why it's still in this state a year later. Like, this is after patches.
Yeah.
And I'm still seeing all these the biggest one to me was just straight up
on PC, and it was horrendous on PC.
Textures disappearing is crazy. Like, not just a texture here or two, like the whole entire I went to, and it's happening a lot, just me going into the pause menu. So every time I like bring up the map or go into the pause menu or go into one of the meditation spots or like go between doors where there's, I guess anytime there's some kind of loading, something starts to get wonky. So it's a lot of wonkiness to it, and I know I'm focusing on that, but I am enjoying playing the game. It's just a lot of immersion breaking stuff when I'm just like, come on, man.
All right. Well, I mean that's hopefully the next one that comes out, the third one, is in a much better state. I can't see Respawn making the same mistake twice. They're usually a pretty solid developer.
They are. Because like I'm still enjoying the game, but you know, like you don't want your game to have like a I like it, but. What about you, Cork? What have you been playing?
I'll be finishing up. I just got Resident Evil 4 Gold. Jesse from Xbox Era recommended it to me, said it was a fantastic game, and he is 100% correct.
Jesse's a good guy. Shout out to Jesse.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jesse. I rocks with the Xbox Era people.
Yeah.
The staff of Xbox Era more so than the some of the people that be in there, but like we rocks with them.
Yeah. I asked him because I remember he played it. I think he streamed it once or twice, and then he said it was fantastic. It's on sale. I had a $25 gift card, the gold version, so I only paid $15 for it, but still, it's actually probably the best remake that they have. They really set a lot of great stuff with it, as far as like the combat, the immersion, the graphics, the voice acting. It's definitely, I would give it probably like a 9 out of 10. on the scale. But yep, I'll just be finishing up that. I'll probably end up. It feels like a game I'll 1K for the Chivos. I like it that much, so that's pretty much it. Just 1King. I should have that done probably by tomorrow.
Okay,
Well,
I still gotta play. I have the remakes for 1, 2, and 3 for Resident Evil,
They're
and I
also
still
on
haven't
Game
played
Pass.
through them yet. Yeah,
Well, 2 and 3 are. 1 isn't, but 2 and 3 are.
The only Resident Evil game that I've actually beaten in the entire existence of the franchise is 5.
Resident Evil 1 on the Resident
was
Evil
the only
1
one I've
remake on the
beaten.
GameCube is the one I beat. It's the only Resident Evil game I ever played through and beat was a remake of 1 on GameCube. Yep. Because of the GameCube.
Okay, so
I was gonna say I'm gonna date myself. The one of the I mean I beat them all, but the very first one was the PlayStation 1 Resident Evil. I got that when I was like in middle school or high school or something.
I remember watching my older brother play either 2 or no, it was 3. I remember my older brother, he had 3. He was playing 3 because 3 is with 3 is with the big dude, right? What's Nemesis?
Yeah.
Nemesis, yeah.
I remember my brother playing through Nemesis when I was like, that had to be what, 99? I was like 11, 12 maybe? 98, 99. When did that come out? It was in 98, 99, right? Or is it early 2000?
Resident Evil 2?
3.
Or 3. 3 was later 2000. Yeah, I think earlier 2000s. Yep. I can't remember if I was already past high school or not.
That's why I'm trying to remember if I was in high school or not already. Pass. Ooh, pass.
Yeah, I'm a 2002 graduate, so yeah.
Yeah.
2006.
Yeah. That was same. I was about to say that's the year that I went to high school in 2002.
Yep, I'm old.
Older.
Yeah, older. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to your seniors.
Right, fellas.
But yep, I know you guys have to go. Awesome guys, great talking with you guys. Hopefully we could get this doing a weekly thing or bi-weekly thing, however we want to set it up. But everybody out there, enjoy your food, enjoy your Game Pass. Go have some ice cream on us. Happy gaming, y'all.
Just don't get it on your controller.
Yeah, just don't get it on your controller and your console. Happy gaming, y'all.
All right. Happy gaming. Y'all have a good one.